What is up, you guys? Master Cars, if you're here, Happy New Year to all. I know it's been a while since you've last seen me, but I've been busy with finals and everything that's going on in Lebanon. But here we are in a quite rainy January of 2020, and we have the brand new Suzuki Jimny to check out for you guys. I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys to check out one of these, and I finally got my hands on one. So let's see what it's all about. Alright, so jumping straight into the Jimny. As you can see, it's quite wobbly. I mean, the whole car shakes when you get in it. So we have two trim levels for the Jimny, the SZ4 and the SZ5, which we have on this example. The SZ5 gets you a 7-inch touchscreen, which is really nice to use, and you have this nice black axis. They're not piano black, but they're nice to have. The SZ4 comes only with a 5-speed manual, though you can get it on the SZ5, but there's an automatic option for the latter. Other than that, as you can see, we have this very thin steering wheel, which is really nice. It's made of polyurethane material. It's not like actual leather, it's faux leather. But it's really nice, and the steering wheel is quite small and really nimble. The steering, however, is quite questionable. We're going to be talking into that later in the test drive. The gauges are actually really cool. I really like that. You have these orange accents with this small display in between. And you have this cool design element that I quite like in the Jimny are those screws that you get all around the gauges, on this passenger handle over here, which is really nice to have. You know, it mimics the overall vibe of the Jimny. And speaking of that vibe, it kind of reminds me of the Lada 4x4, which we took a look at a few months ago. You guys might remember that. I mean, they both offer off-road capabilities in this small and light chassis at a very affordable price. However, this is kind of more luxurious, which makes it more sensible for daily city driving, especially having an automatic transmission. Suzuki Lebanon currently offers only one trim level for the Jimny, which is a slightly modified version of the SZ5 and costs $23,500. You can choose from 8 different color combinations for the Jimny and only black cloth seats for the interior. Now, taking a look at the interior of the 2020 Suzuki Jimny. Now, yes, the 2020 and the 2019 are basically the same car, so if you're confused about that, as well as the 2018. So since its launch for this generation, they're all basically the same. Looking at the steering wheel, as you can see, it's very round. You have this nice plastic accent over here. I wish it were open from here, but then again, it's really good. We have controls over here for your voice command and phone, which is easy to use. Controls over here for the screen, as well as the volume to increase from here. Let's close that up. Looking at the gauges, as you can see, those orange gauges, which look really good. And then using this info button right here, you can go to change whatever you want displayed over here. Then over here we have a bit of empty buttons, which is okay. You can adjust the mirrors over here electrically using this. Actually quite big mirrors and very helpful when driving. With the nice design of the door, I quite like that. Closing that up, you have this nice door handle again with the screw accents. The door bins are they're a bit small, I gotta say, but I mean they save a lot of space for your legs over here, because actually the door is very near to you, and a few times I knocked my hand when maneuvering because the overall car is very small. I like the design of the air vents that you get over here. Come around to the center, we have a 7-inch touchscreen, which is really helpful. Going to the menu over here, the home button, we can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto available on this car, which is actually really cool to have. And for the volume, just slide that up and slide it down, which is really cool to have. Hazards over here with, again, this nice design for the air vents. Now, the design over here is a bit questionable for the climate control. I mean, the knobs are really good and blows up quite strongly, but I have second thoughts about this area right here being, you know, very protruding, and the way, I don't know, it's hard plastic, but then again, it's a rugged off-road, and that's what you want in such car. We have automatic windows only for the driver, and then you have traction control button over here and hill descent assist, which I was surprised to have in this car. We're going to be trying that later, of course. We have a USB port as well as a 12-volt power outlet over here with some storage space to put your phone. You have your nice gear shifter, as you can see. And then you have your 4x4 gear selector over here, obviously in our 4-wheel drive Suzuki Jimny. And then these 2 empty buttons over here are for your heated seats, if you'd like to add that to your car. And then coming on to your center console, which is actually very small. I mean, it's a bit deep, so you can put some stuff, but it's actually very small for your hand, and it's actually nicely leather wrapped over here. Again, it's full leather, but you have these nice stitchings over here, which is kind of cool. And you have a small cubby space down below. And then coming on to the glove box, which is actually packed right now, but it has a decent size. Really nice to have that. And speaking of storage, let's see if the trunk is any good in the Jimny. Alright guys, so before checking out the trunk, I would like you guys to follow me on Instagram, MasterCarsReviewLB. I'll be posting behind the scenes of the cars I'm going to be reviewing, as well as future plans. And if you have any recommendations, make sure to DM me. I'll be really happy to answer you guys. Alright, so to open up the boot in the Jimny, as you can see, we have a big spare tire under here, so the door will open horizontally, and quite like Aston Martin style, it'll go slightly upwards. As you can see, we have, I don't know, basically no cargo space. We have 85 liters, and I have my bag and a small camera bag over here. But let me put that down, and you're gonna see, if you fold the seats using this, and right here we have 377 liters of boot space, which kind of seems fair right now, but that's without anything over here. And you have, you know, this plastic cover, so things will slide nicely over here. And then speaking of backseat, let's see if I can fit nicely in the back. Alright, so to get into the backseat of the Jimny, first of all you pull this to recline the seat, and then pull this forward to pull the seat. Okay guys, so I've placed it over there. This is my driving position, and I'm 185 centimeters again, so legroom is basically I'm touching the seat, but the seat is surprisingly comfortable, and the way you recline it is actually good. So if you're a family of 3 or 4 and you have small kids, you can easily put them in the back. I mean, they'll love it in here, especially you have a big window, so it's a really nice place to be. Revised for this new generation is the Jimny's powertrain. You now get a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with 101 horsepower and 130 Nm of torque. The light chassis makes these uninteresting numbers come together to match the Jimny's charm gained over the years. Suzuki's AllGrip Pro, its part-time 4-wheel drive system, is standard, however there's still no locking differential option. In terms of safety, the Jimny does get as standard 6 airbags, ABS and ESP, lane departure warning, and hill hold and descent control, but unfortunately scored 3 stars in the EuroNCAP crash tests. You can download the full report through the link in the description. Alright, so let's take an exterior walk around of the Suzuki Jimny. Now the weather is starting to change very quickly, so let's see how much time we have before it starts to rain. As you know, this is the 4th generation of the Jimny. We have it in jungle green here. I really like the spec of it, and those actually really nice looking 15-inch alloy wheels. I really like the color of it and the design of the rims. On the front, it's kind of reminiscent of the old generations. Now you can change that. Suzuki allows you to change the front grille to an old school look for the Jimny with the Suzuki writing on the front. Now you have the typical 2 lights on each side for the Jimny, which we've been seeing since the 1st generation. And then taking a look at the car, as you can see, it's very small, 1.7 meters tall only. It's a very small vehicle, and you're gonna see that when driving it, that it's really small. You can feel everything in the car, especially with those big wheels. You know, feel a lot of feedback from the wheels. You have these nice fender flares over here, plastic fender flares, but it gives the Jimny a more capable look as an SUV. Then coming around the back, you can see the small design details of the roof. I really dig that, and you can get it with 2-tone, so imagine it with black on the brighter green that you get for the Jimny. And then going on to the back, as you know, we have the wheel and the hinges on the side, which look really good. The lights are on the bottom. We have the mudguards down below, which look really good with the Suzuki emblem. So yeah, that's basically it for the exterior. Now let's go ahead and see how the Jimny drives. You might have picked up that our Jimny doesn't get all the options of the SC5 trim level, because trims are slightly modified for Lebanon to achieve a fair price. On the inside, you get a more modern look for the AC controls, as well as buttons on the steering wheel for the optional cruise control. The SC5 also gets you LED headlamps and daytime running lights. There's a huge variety of OEM accessories for the Jimny that spice up its whole impression and practicality, such as a large roof rack, a towing hook, and many others. Now, beginning our test drive, it has decided to start pouring a lot of rain. I hope you guys can hear me well. Anyways, this is going to be more of a sensible test drive of the Jimny, nothing, you know, off-roading and stuff because of the bad weather. But anyways, you have a lot of reviews about that. There's a lot of good things about the off-road capability of this car. But I thought I'd go more in depth of how nicely it would be when daily driving it. I mean, some SUVs or crossovers offer a lot of off-road capabilities, so it's sometimes it's kind of hard to daily drive in terms of suspension and everything it has to offer. But anyways, cruising in the Jimny, the steering wheel is very nice and light, though feedback kind of lacks. I mean, look, this is me turning the steering wheel. There's nothing, no feedback on the road, nothing happening. So you have to keep that in mind. When on this rough terrain, well, the suspension is actually very good, very smooth and soft. This might translate into body roll, but I mean, it's okay. We won't be going to track with the Jimny. It's not what it's all about. Now, talking about maneuvering, the door is very close to you, so sometimes when I was reversing, I did knock my hand quite a few times with the door. You have to get used to that, but isn't that big of a deal. Then going up this uphill, we do have 130 Newton meters of torque, so this kind of helps the Jimny. I hope you guys can hear me well, because the weather has decided to bail on us today and start raining. We're gonna do a small acceleration. There you have it. It picks up speed quite well, though it takes a lot of time, and 100 kilometers an hour is achievable. It takes a lot of time to reach it, and top speed is 142 kilometers an hour, so not impressive figures, but I mean, that's all you need in such car. Now, visibility is actually perfect. Also reminds me of the Lada 4x4. We have a big windscreen in the front, and on the sides, big windows, especially to the rear. Also, even though you have this spare tire that kind of protrudes, you can see in the back, but nothing too annoying. And I want to talk about something about the Jimny, is that before you drive this car, I know there's a lot of hype around this car, and it's getting really popular over the last year. So if you're willing to buy one, just don't put high expectations on one and you'll love it. That's what kills the experience in this car, because you really think that it's such a good SUV, you know, it's rugged, and it is that, but not to the extent that you imagine it to be. I mean, there's a lot of whining in here. The steering wheel, as I told you, isn't the way you want it, but then it isn't that bad. Just don't put high expectations on it and you'll love it. What I meant to say is that the main reason you buy the Jimny is to explore and use it for what it's made for. That, it does beautifully. But do not forget that you'll spend most of your time on urban and highway roads where off-road capabilities don't matter that much. I'm focusing on its city driving quality. You want the SUV to be pleasant both on and off-road, and not go on complaining about its poor cruising abilities and justifying it for some off-road muscles you'll train once every month. Thankfully, the Jimny is a fair blend of both that'll suit most road conditions. There are many details that render the Jimny far from perfect. One cannot deny that there's engine noise in the cabin, which is to be expected with basically no sound deadening. It isn't smooth on highway speeds, and the funky, boxy shape isn't aerodynamic at all. It's nice to have an automatic transmission option, though the manual makes more sense with 5 gears. A 4-geared auto just doesn't cut it in 2020. The soft suspension might be helpful in rough terrains, but on pavement it unfortunately is bouncy to say the least. Thankfully though, negatives end here and you can now enjoy your experience in the Jimny. It has a huge presence on the road and you'll love hopping in for a drive in the city. Its small size makes it perfect for daily commutes, and fuel consumption is reasonable at around 32 miles per gallon. It's an ideal car for 2 people, swallowing an adequate amount of luggage when the rear seats are down. Interior quality is great compared to rivals, and the layout is pleasant and user-friendly. Opt for the upper trim as Z5 and you've got yourself a decent off-roading little G-Class with more funkiness and a much lower price tag. It's what the Lada 4x4 should have been in 2020. A cheap, capable and practical SUV with refreshed looks and a new interior. The Jimny is just that. Its popularity and success over the years are due to this blend of useful options that appeal to everyone. Suzuki has taken an unshakable step in the right direction with their latest offering in terms of design and interior options, while maintaining class-leading off-road capabilities. It's a hit once again. So guys, that's it for today. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out the website mastercarsreview.com for the full review article and the pictures of the Suzuki Jimny. Till then, take care everybody. See you soon.